Why nerves are the secret sauce of public speaking and how to maximize their presence. Hello, I'm Malcolm Cox and welcome to Tuesday Teaching Tips episode 127. And today we're talking about that ever-present challenge, nerves. Public speaking and nerves, well, they just go together, don't they? I write on Quora, and the most common question I get asked is on how to deal with nerves in public speaking. I've written extensively on it and I've even recorded here on it before, but I thought we'd go into a little bit more depth in a 4-part series on how to deal with nerves at different phases of public speaking. And we'll do that as we go along between this episode and the next 3. Nerves are often seen as the enemy, but I believe they can be our friend. My change of attitude came many years ago when I was learning to be an opera singer, and I had a teacher, a singing teacher, and I was preparing for a big concert. And she asked me one day in one of our lessons, she said, "Are you feeling nervous about the concert?" And I said, "Oh yeah, terribly nervous." And as in sharing it with her as a problem and expecting her to give me the solution. And so when I said, "I'm feeling terribly nervous," she said, "Oh, good." And I thought she'd come down from the planet Mars or something. How can it be good to be so nervous? I feel sick with nerves. And she said, here's the thing. If you didn't feel nervous, I would be worried. Because it would mean you didn't understand the significance of what you were about to do. It wouldn't really matter to you. But the fact that you feel nerves shows that you know that this is important. What you've got to do is to learn how to not let the nerves get in the way of your performance, but instead enhance it. Use the nerves to sharpen your performance, was what she said. And of course, when we're preaching and teaching, especially in a church context, we're not trying to perform as in just to entertain, but nonetheless, we can find, well, I don't think you can ever get rid of nerves completely. In fact, I don't think it's advisable or helpful to get rid of nerves, but instead we can use them. We can turn the nervousness and anxiety into excitement, such that then the nerves are useful. So we're going to be talking about that over the next 4 episodes, and we're going to begin today by talking about the preparation period. So the nerves that come when we're in the preparation period, not in the talking, speaking, public part of it, but in the private preparation period. You know that situation that comes when you've got a text, you're going to preach on, you've got a topic, and you're thinking about it, and you get anxious, you get nervous about it. You're wondering whether you're going to say it right, get the point across right, whether you've really got anything to say. You know that feeling, right? I'm not the only one, I hope. I feel that just about every time I start to prepare a lesson. And what do we do when we're in that situation? Well, I have some suggestions for us that I hope will be helpful. So firstly, aim to complete your presentation a whole week early. At least a week. I know some people who prepare their lessons 2 or even 3 weeks ahead of time, and you can do it as early as you like. I'm not talking there about last minute tweaking. Last minute tweaking is fine. There's always something to adjust at the end. But getting the main point down and getting the main structure down, the main points, the main illustrations, the main body of it down a week early. If you aim for it to be done a week early, that will help you, rather than it being so late that you haven't really got time to own the presentation. So aim to prepare and finish your main preparation a week early. That will help your nervousness. Secondly, the second thing is to be clear about your one main point. Yes, you might have subpoints. Yes, you might have things that illustrate and enhance the understanding of what your main point is, but you have one main point. Be clear on that well ahead of time. Once you've got that one main point down, oh, you can relax so much more, and then you're just adding to that rather than trying to figure that out. And you do need to spend time on it. I'm often asked how I get my insight. Somebody will come up to me afterwards and say, I never saw that in the passage before. How did you see it? That's really interesting. And I'll say the simple thing, which is that I look at it, I stare at it. Here's the text of my next sermon here. And what I'm doing at the moment is just staring at it until something jumps out at me. Praying about it, thinking about it, looking at it, staring at it. If you stare at a passage long enough, something will stand out. So get that one main point down. That will make a big difference. Thirdly, be confident that you actually believe in your main point. Now that might seem obvious, but sometimes we end up preaching things that we haven't really taken into our own hearts. And what I really mean by that is into our own lives. Again, one of the reasons for preparing ahead of time and having your main point clear and your lesson prepared a week ahead is because then you've got time to live it. And if you live it, then the authenticity with which that comes across when you speak it will be so much more powerful. When we live what we speak, it makes all the difference. Isn't that why Jesus was such an effective speaker? He lived what he taught. He didn't just believe it in his head, it affected his life. And so this is another way to deal with our nerves, is to say, by the time we get to the actual presentation, is we know we've been living it. If we know we've been living it, then it helps us to not be so anxious about the actual presentation, even in that preparation period. I'm going to live it. Even this morning, I was praying about this passage in Acts chapter 8 that I'm going to be preaching on next Sunday, asking God to make it clear what is the main point from this passage for me, and how can I live something from this passage this week. I want that to happen. So that's something else to do. So prepare a week ahead, be clear as to your one main point, be confident that you're actually believing it, living it. And fourthly and finally, rehearse the key stories and phrases. Rehearse the key stories and phrases. So if you've got a story in your lesson, rehearse it. Walk around the house telling the story. Walk around the garden. Walk around the neighborhood, around the local park. And tell the story to your dog or to your pet rabbit. Pretend you've got an audience and tell the story again and again until it's fluent. This is not so that it comes across like a performance, like it's something that isn't real, but more that then it's deep, settled in your heart and your mind, and you know how you want to bring it across. And the same thing with key phrases. If there's a summary phrase which you should have, which summarizes that main point and the whole point of the lesson, then practice that phrase, whether it comes at the beginning, the middle, or the end, wherever it comes, but practice it, because then it will come across again with more authority, because you've really thought about it, you've said it so many times, it's become part of you. And that will help you deal with the nerves that you're feeling right now, because you know your point, and you will know you believe in it, and you know you're living it, or doing your best to. And that will make a big difference to being able to then use the nerves. The nerves can sharpen all of the things we're talking about here. They can help you, drive you towards preparing a week ahead. It can drive you to being clear about your point. I must get that point. I will get that point. It can help you to then believe in it, and it can help you as you rehearse the stories and the key phrases. It's the nerves drive you to do that, such that then when you come to the point of sharing your thoughts, then it's authentic, it's real, it's powerful, and it will flow, which will be a wonderful thing for you and for the people to whom you are speaking. So those are some thoughts on how to deal with the nerves in the preparation phase. Now we're going to talk about the other phases in the next few episodes, but I'd love to know what you think. Please do leave a comment. Leave a comment wherever you see this recording. Leave it publicly so that we can learn from each other, because we learn best when we learn in community. If you do know someone who might benefit from this recording, then please pass the link on. Hit the like button, subscribe, leave some kind of review. That will be wonderful. And until the next time, I hope you have a terrific Tuesday and a wonderful week. God bless.